Hey y'all, welcome back to another weekend vlog, and it's been a while since I've done a weekend vlog, so I'm super excited that I can actually do that this weekend. I've been spending all of my weekends this semester working on my thesis, but I finished writing my thesis yesterday. I sent it off for approval from my committee. I have to do some formatting and stuff, but that is not the hard part, and then that's just gotta like get submitted electronically to the grad school. So I am so relieved to finally have that almost done. I'm down to like formatting and like smaller fixes, so that's gonna be taking up so much less time, and I'm just feeling very relieved right now. I'm also at this interesting lull point where I'm like, I have to get feedback on like some proposals and things before I can move forward on my other projects. So I don't have much I have to do this weekend, so I'm taking it as like a chill, relax weekend, as a little treat to myself for all of the work that I got done in the last week and kind of across the semester so far. And I'm just really looking forward to this, and it's already started off really nicely. It's currently like 2:20, 2:30 on Saturday, and we started out the day. My mom and I went to our favorite brunch place downtown, got a really good brunch, and then we just kind of wandered around for a little bit and went to all our favorite like local shops and did just some like shopping, some wandering, got out and enjoyed the fresh air, which was really nice. And I think you'll have seen some clips of this at the beginning of this video. I think that was my plan, was to have like a little montage, because I thought that would be fun. So I do have like a little tiny haul for you guys of the stuff that we got while we were out shopping. And I first up have some yarn from my favorite local yarn shop, which I'm so excited about. I love this color. Let's see if I can get it to focus on the yarn so you can actually see it. There it goes. So it's this like beautiful lavender and gray with black speckles, but the black speckles, instead of being dyed on, are actually like little strips of fiber that have been wound into, or like spun into the yarn. And it's just like so pretty. I already have a pattern in mind for this. I'm gonna make a storm shawl for myself because I made one for my mom a while back, and I really want to make one for myself because I think it's just such a cool shawl pattern, and it's one of those nice like one skein wonder shawls where you can use just like one nice skein of yarn. So I love these colors, and I think it's gonna make such a nice like kind of springtime shawl. And then gotta find a spot to put that on my desk. The other thing we got from there is that mom bought me a book on rigid heddle weaving, because I'm collecting some weaving books at the moment, so that when I'm done with grad school, once I've graduated and I have a little more free time, I want to do some more like experimenting with my rigid heddle loom. So she got me this rigid heddle weaving from Ashford, which is the company that made the particular loom that I have, and it's just got like some advice on it for like working with different fibers. It's got some like project instructions, just useful information like that. So I'm really excited to kind of dive into this once I have some time. And then for books, I have 4 books here, one that my mom bought because we both ended up picking up and walking around with it for a little bit, so we decided we both wanted to read it, and she decided to buy that one since we both wanted to read it, and so that I could buy the other books ahead in my hand. But we got the Kamigawa Food Detectives, and this is the one that she bought. It's by Hisashi Kashiwai, and this one is about this like, I think it's a father and daughter duo that run a restaurant. And the restaurant is special because this particular duo is able to like recreate meals that people remember having at like specific points in their lives, like whether that be from a restaurant that has since closed down or like other special meals that they've eaten. And it's this like thing about memory and kind of finding connections back to those special moments in our lives through food. And it just sounds so like cute and charming, and like it's gonna be like very emotional and heartwarming, and it just sounds so fun. And I've been looking for more lighter things to read, so I had picked this up, and then when I walked over to my mom while she was looking, she was like, oh, I picked up the same book, I really want to read that. So we're both excited to read this one, and it's got such a cute cover with this little cat on the cover, and it just looks like it's gonna be really nice and just a fun read. And this one also, I think, is the start of a series, so this is like recommended for fans of Before the Coffee Gets Cold, which I haven't read, but my mom has, and she really liked it. So I just think it sounds fun, and she's gonna read that today, so I borrowed it from her so I could film this little clip. But yeah, very excited to read that one. And then the stuff I got, I was very clearly like in a murder mystery mood today while we were out there, because I bought all murder mysteries for myself. Starting with All the Sinners Bleed by S.A. Cosby, because I've heard so many good things about this. I love a small town murder mystery story, and it sounds like this is just going to be super hard hitting. I've heard nothing but like glowing reviews for S.A. Cosby's writing, and I've been wanting to try one of his books for a while, and I think this is the one that had the most appealing premise to me. So I'm so excited to be reading this at some point, although I'm not going to read it right now just because I feel like with everything I've been doing with school, I've been reading a lot of darker stuff and I just want to read something lighter at the moment. But I am very much looking forward to this, and I'm thinking like maybe in like April or May. Perfect time to read this. And then the other two things I got were both kind of like meta, silly murder mysteries. So I got Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone and Station Eternity. I've heard good things about both of these. I think this one's supposed to be a little bit more meta, and this one is kind of like comedy as well, without necessarily that same meta commenting on the genre element. But I've heard good things about both of them, and they just sounded really fun. And again, I'm looking for like fun, light stuff that I can read since I've been doing so much like schoolwork and reading a lot of like heavier, denser stuff. So I'm really excited to read both of these as well, and I'll probably get to these a little bit sooner than All the Sinners Bleed, because I think this is kind of what I'm in the mood for right now. So those are all the things that I bought. And now let's talk about the stuff I'm actually hoping to read and do this weekend while I have a little bit of time. I still have like half of today and all of tomorrow to do stuff, so very much excited about that. First things first, I do have one thing I have to read for school, but like it's hardly a hardship because I've got to reread Frankenstein, which is one of my favorite books anyway, and I just finished working on my thesis that I was writing about Frankenstein in, so I'm really familiar with this story. I think I could get away with like not reading it at all, but why would I deprive myself the joy of rereading Frankenstein again? So I am gonna go ahead and reread this one, but I have to be paying attention this time around to like elements of happiness and isolation and community and unhappiness, and yeah, this is for my class on the search for happiness. So that's kind of the things I'm gonna be paying attention to, is like how is happiness framed in this particular story. So I'm excited to read it again with that particular lens in mind. Also, apologies if the lighting keeps like changing. I feel like it keeps getting darker and then lighter. I think it's because I have this window behind me open and I still haven't gotten my curtains up yet, but someday, eventually I'll have that figured out. Apologies if that's happening. It's hard for me to tell while I'm talking, but I'm getting a sense it's doing that. Anyway, gonna be rereading Frankenstein. This is not gonna be a long read at all, and I'll probably do some more highlighting and stuff in it, but you know, this is going to be pretty fun just because it's a book that I love. So that's one thing I like have to do, and I really technically only have to read chapters 1 to 10, but I figure I'm just going to go ahead and read the whole book because then I've done all of the reading for like the next 2 weeks, other than I think there's like one article and a short poem I have to read for not this upcoming week but the following week. But other than that, I'll be done with the reading for that class, so that would be like really nice to be a little bit ahead there. And then the other things I'm wanting to read are for Jan Agaton's like layer readathon. She does like a Patreon specific readathon every month, and I think I've yet to get to actually like participate in one of them. They're always fun. She always comes up with a fun theme, but this time around I do actually have some time. So this particular month we're doing like clearing out your currently reading, finishing some of your currently reading books, and I have like a ton of currently reading books. There's 10 of them, I think. I had 17 last year. I took a bunch of stuff off, and then I proceeded to add like more stuff back to it. So I just constantly have a massive backlog of currently reading stuff. But the ones I think I want to focus on, if I can find the time around reading Frankenstein, are Finlay Donovan is Killing It, which I kind of want to read in part because it's one of the 2 books that I got for the booktube spin, and I've never successfully completed a booktube spin, so I would love to go ahead and read this so that I could actually successfully participate in that as well. So I read about half of this, a little less than half, about a third, like 2 years ago, but I still remember it really well, so I feel like I could just dive right back in. And I really want to get to that one in part because, like, as was clear from my book haul, I'm really in like a murder mystery mood right now. I also kind of want to finish the writing retreat, which I started more recently. I'm pretty far into it as well. I just haven't had time to do much leisure reading, so I feel like that would be another good one to get kind of cleared off my list. It's less cozy than Finlay Donovan, but I was really enjoying it. I think it's a really interesting project, and I'm curious to see where it's going to go because I really just don't have a sense of where any of it is going, so I'm like curious to find that out. And then lastly, I also have the X-Hex, which is again kind of cozy. I thought would be like something fun and light and easy to read. I started this one at like Halloween last year and I never finished it, so might also pick this one up because I know it won't actually take me that long to finish it once I actually spend the time to read it. When I was reading it, it was a really quick read, and I struggle with romances because I have trouble caring about the stakes of the story, and I feel like the stakes here just don't matter. I know that it's a romance, I know they're going to end up together, so that's, I think, usually where I struggle with them, and why I don't read a lot of like kind of contemporary romance. I do like the witchy element that's happening here, and I want to see how like the little mystery, it's not really like a full mystery, but it's like we fucked up, how do we fix it, kind of a mystery. So I'm kind of curious how that's gonna get resolved. But those are the things that I'm like most interested in finishing this weekend, I think. I can definitely tell the lighting is doing crazy things because I'm very dark now. There we go. I'm like hidden in shadow. Yeah, I think, please lighting, please work with me. Well, I guess lighting is not going to work with me, but I think those are kind of where I want to focus my time this weekend. And then kind of around all of that, depending on like if I get tired of looking at words or something, I also want to finish my sock. I have like 12 rows left on this. This is going to be a complete set once I finish this sock. I have 12 rows left that are just decrease rows to finish the toes, and then I can kitchen or stitch it all together. Then it'll be done. Then I'll have a pair of socks. And then I also want to do some weaving if I can find some time, because I do have a project that I want to do. It's a creative project that I want to do for one of my classes. That's the full sentence. And there's a project currently on my loom that I need to get off of the loom so that I could actually start that one, because that one is going to take me some time. The thing that's currently on the loom, I think, is in the 7.5 inch per inch heddle, and the one I'm going to be doing is going to be my 12.5 inch per inch. And the last time I did something on the 12.5, it took me 6 hours to fully warp onto the loom and get everything set up. So I want to get the thing that's currently on there off so I can have the time to actually do that warping if I get approval to do that creative project. So that, I think, despite being a very long and rambly intro, I apologize for that, but I think that's everything. All of the updates so far. I'm gonna go, I think, start with Frankenstein just to get the like required reading out of the way. Again, I love Frankenstein. That's not a hardship for me. But I think I'll start there, and then I'm just gonna spend the rest of the afternoon just kind of chilling, reading, maybe doing some knitting. And yeah, I'm really excited about this. I'm so excited to have time to relax for a little while, and I hope y'all will join me for my relaxing little journey that I'm gonna have here. So anyway, I'm gonna go actually read and quit rambling, and I will see you guys later when I finish something. Happy Sunday. I didn't do a whole lot yesterday besides read Frankenstein. I didn't finish it, but I did manage to get to about page 80, which included like 40 pages of introduction as well. So like, I'm happy with that. I read like 40 pages of the story. I'm gonna read the rest today. I've got like 140 pages left, which now that I'm into the part that I've read before is not that bad. So I'm gonna knock out the rest of Frankenstein today, but I am really enjoying rereading it and paying attention to kind of the themes around happiness and the search for happiness for this particular class. So having a great time with this. And I made it to page 80, so like I felt like that was pretty good. And then I got kind of tired of reading, and I was gonna do some crafting, but then a friend of mine was available to chat, so I got on a chat with her, and it ended up being kind of a happy accident because while we were chatting I wanted to play something while I had the time, and I decided to replay Bugsnax because I was like, I don't really have the time to invest in a big open world game or any of the kind of bigger narrative games that I've been interested in. I just don't want to like get started on something and then know that I'm not going to be able to come back to it for at least a few weeks, if not longer, while I'm finishing up my like final projects and things. So I was like, yeah, I'll just replay Bugsnax. That's a really fun and easy game, and it's like kind of mindless. So you just going out catching these little Bugsnax. It's fine. And then while I was playing, I realized that it was going to work really well for a project I'm working on, because for my class, The Search for Happiness, that I'm taking this semester, one of the project options, the one that I'm doing, is trying to develop a course this is for the final project, we have to develop a course that connects the search for happiness in some way to our personal research interests, and mine being video game studies. And I just decided, like, I'm gonna do search for happiness in video games of some variety. Like, obviously it's gonna be more in-depth than that sounds, but I was trying to think about like what games I would want to include and what texts would be good to assign, including games, and I realized Bugsnax is going to be like perfect for that, because so much of it is about like these grumpuses, the characters in the game, who have come to Snacktooth Island for various different personal reasons, and as you're playing the game, you're kind of digging deeper into those personal reasons. You kind of advance your friendships with these characters and learn more about them, and it very much is about the search for happiness. Like, all of these people have come to Snacktooth because they see it as like this opportunity to get past some sort of personal problem, a failure in their past, a kind of mental block, whatever it is, to like be happy for once or again, or, you know, they're trying to use this as an opportunity to find their happiness. And I had not realized that before, but it struck me while I was replaying it. I was like, I forgot how much of this game is just about like these really grounded problems that all of the grumpuses have that you're trying to help them work through. So I realized that would be a really good one, also because it's available on a bunch of different platforms, and it's fairly easy in terms of gameplay. Like, there is a little bit of, you have to do camera and actions, so there is a little bit of challenge there, but it is available like on a bunch of different things. So, you know, if you are more comfortable with PC, it's available that way. It's on Switch, it's on PlayStation and Xbox, it's on iOS as well, so you can have it on your iPhone. You can't have it on Android, interestingly. It's not available on Android, but like, it's available a bunch of different ways, and I was like, oh, this is perfect. I'm really glad that I took the time to play that again so that I could have that revelation, because that's really, I think, going to be a useful text to include in my kind of planning for this final project course development thing. So I'm really excited about that. But yeah, that's pretty much all I did yesterday. I was up pretty late playing Bugsnax. It was a great time. This morning, though, I had a team meeting for a collaborative project for one of my classes. We're writing like an expanded keyword entry. We're doing this thing with a book that's like different keywords around gender and sexuality studies, and so we have to take a keyword entry that we were assigned as a group and try to expand it in some interesting way and kind of like broaden the conversation around it. So met with my group for that. That was pretty simple. We got a lot done, and we're turning in our first draft today for peer feedback, so that's really good. We were feeling like pretty comfortable with where we're at, and it was a pretty easy meeting. And now I have a croissant from yesterday, because we went to a local bakery and picked up some croissants so we could have some for breakfast today. This one is spinach and feta. I'm very excited about it. It smells awesome. I was letting it cool a little bit though, because it was pretty hot when we finished heating it back up. And I didn't feel like burning my hands, so, because I am bad about doing that. But yeah, I've got my little croissant, I got some coffee over here, and I'm gonna settle in and finish up Frankenstein, and then I'm not sure which thing I'm gonna read next, or I might work on my sock. I still haven't done this yet. But yeah, I'm not sure which thing I'll focus on after Frankenstein, but we'll kind of see what I'm in the mood for once I actually get through Frankenstein, and I'll probably take a little break between just to kind of stop looking at words for a little bit. But yeah, I'm feeling really good about today, and I'm really enjoying just having a weekend to kind of chill. Well, I looked at my assignment stuff for this week and realized that I have to do a lightning round on Frankenstein and also a Keats poem next week, and I'd kind of forgotten about that. I thought we were done with those, but no, I have one more left to do. Basically I have to have like 3 minutes worth of something to talk about that I was interested in the text for the week. And because of that, I decided what I'm actually going to do is go ahead and stop. I finished the section for this week. I did a lightning round next week, so I won't have one again until next... sorry. I had a lightning round last week. That's what I meant to say. I think I said next week. I meant last week. The next one I have to do is next week. I don't have to do one this week. But because I have to do one next week, I decided that what I want to do is read the portion for next week closer to the other things that we're reading. And I don't like to do that too far in advance, just because I like to have it fairly fresh in my mind when I get to class. So I'm actually going to leave that last like 100-ish pages for next weekend, because I should have plenty of time to get through that, and that'll let me just have kind of the section that we'll actually be talking about next week kind of fresher in my mind, instead of reading it all now and having to kind of recall it. Even though I've been working with this book a lot and I know it very well, I feel like a lot of what I'm looking at right now is in the details, and I want to be able to like recall those well. So I am done with the reading for this week, so I am officially setting this aside for the weekend, which is very exciting. I'm really happy about that. I have some other readings I might try to tackle a little bit later, but this weekend I'm kind of like taking that opportunity to rest while I have it, while I'm not like in a big rush to get everything done. And I am actually in a pretty comfortable spot right now for all of my classes, so I'm taking the opportunity to kind of chill while I have it. So now I think I'm gonna take a break from reading for a little bit. I'm not sure, I'll either work on my sock or I might play Bug Snacks again for a little bit and think about how I might use that for the project that I'm working on. But I'm gonna do one of those two things, and then I'm not sure which book I am gonna read next. I got real absorbed when I played Bug Snacks for like 4 hours, which was nice in the sense that like it gave me some time to think through how I want to use the game for this project I'm working on. So like, I'm not mad about it. I had a good time too. It's just a fun game. It has such a satisfying gameplay loop, and it's so easy to just get sucked in and play it for a really long time. So yeah, I did that for a few hours, and I have done absolutely nothing else. I haven't read anything else. I think I am going to try and get a little bit more homework done tonight, because I have like one short article I could go ahead and read and have out of the way for the week, and then kind of free up some time over the next 2 days, because then I'll just have I think 2 articles left to read before my classes later this week, and that'll give me some time to start working on like the research and stuff for my final projects. So I think it's going to work out nicely, and I really did mean to actually like finish another book this weekend. It just didn't happen, and I'm okay with that. But it means this vlog has been a fairly short and sweet one, and I am gonna go ahead and end it here. I'm about to eat some dinner, and then I'm just gonna do some homework, and my partner and some of his friends are gonna be streaming Overcooked later, so I'm gonna go ahead and like watch that while I'm working. And yeah, should be a pretty chill evening, and probably nothing else interesting is gonna happen. So I'm gonna be ending this vlog here. I really hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, I hope you'll consider giving it a like, maybe even subscribing to see what comes next. I'm currently posting on Tuesdays and Saturdays, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.